Hi there guys, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if this is your first time. Today I just wanted to do a short video on a record that I've just bought. It's just arrived in the post yesterday actually, and that is Nite Flights by the Walker Brothers. This was released in 1978 on the GTO label. This is the Music on Vinyl reissue, which you can see on the hype sticker there. Music on Vinyl classic album, 180 gram audiophile vinyl pressing. When this arrived, this came in a resealable bag, which is nice. Like I say, it's 180 gram vinyl. Cover was designed by Storm Thorgerson, or Hypnosis, famous for doing the Pink Floyd album art. This was the Walker Brothers' last album, released in 1978, as I said. And I've been looking for an original pressing of this. The original pressings of this go for north of £70 in near mint condition. They're really holding their price. I'm not sure if it's worth the money, and I'll tell you why. I shall explain why. This album is essentially an album of three faces. It's not a very coherent album at all. It's essentially three EPs on one LP, if you like. So you've got recordings by Scott Walker on here. You've got the first 4 tracks by Scott Walker, one of which is the title track, Nite Flights, which was covered by David Bowie on his album Black Tie, White Noise. You've then got 2 tracks by drummer Gary Walker, or Gary Leeds as he was originally known. And then the last, I think it's 4 or 5 tracks you've got written by John Walker, or John Mouse. So what can I say? The 4 Scott Walker tracks are brilliant. Let's take it out the plastic. So you've got, right, so the album opens with Shut Out, Fat Mama Kick, Nite Flights, and then you've got the last Scott Walker track, The Electrician, which is really a divisive track for Walker Brothers fans. This album pretty much split Walker Brothers fans down the middle. Traditional Walker Brothers fans didn't get it, but it did pave the way for Scott Walker's solo career. Especially tracks like Nite Flights and The Electrician. The Electrician really does have had an influence on his later solo stuff. You could see where Scott was going with his music when Nite Flights came out. This is a great album. You have to take the other Walker Brothers tracks on their own merits. As a whole, the album is a bit disjointed, and that is purely because there is a mixture of tastes and influences going on this album. Definitely Scott Walker's tracks are a higher, they're a higher level than the other two. The other two's tracks on this are good, you know, but they're forgettable. You know, this is essentially a Scott Walker EP with some padding around it, unfortunately. Will I buy an original pressing of this? I'm not sure, because I don't know if I want to pay £70 for 4 tracks, essentially. I would like to hear an original pressing, and maybe in the future, if one comes my way at the right price, I might buy it. But that said, you know, it's still a lot of an investment, even if one came up for £50. It's a huge investment for just 4 songs, really. But it's, you know, it's got mythical status, really, Nite Flights. And I've been holding out for this for many months. And in the end, I bit the bullet and bought the music on vinyl. I think this cost me £25, plus about £5 shipping, so £30. So it wasn't too shoddy. It's still expensive for 4 tracks, essentially, because I probably won't listen to the others ever again. You know, it's a bit like that, really. If you're a Scott Walker fan, like I am, it's a must-have, really. But I'm not really sure I would spend the extra money on an OG pressing just for those 4 tracks. But that said, music on vinyl, this is obviously digitally sourced, I think, cut from digital files. My guess is highly unlikely it's been cut from tape. The sound of this is excellent. It is really good. It's dead quiet vinyl. Music on vinyl are pretty good, to be fair. You know, they're quite a good label. Are they audiophile? They like to call themselves audiophile. I think they're just a higher level label that do affordable audiophile type pressings. I don't think they're audiophile. To me, an audiophile label is someone like Mo-Fi, Analog Productions, Sam Records, you know, companies like that actually push the boat out and get everything right and reproduce the jackets exactly as they were. You know, I got that Chet Baker album for Record Store Day. The presentation of that is faultless. It's perfect. You know, it came with a proper rice paper inner. The attention to detail was second to none. So that's my idea of an audiophile label. Music on vinyl are good, and I think they're not your run-of-the-mill sort of standard record shop label. I put them sort of midway between them and Acoustic Sounds. You know, they do affordable, good, well-pressed records, you know. I actually think they're probably around about, they're actually, I would say they were on a par with Vinyl Me Please, I was going to say, but Vinyl Me Please are really knocking it out the park with their pressings at the moment. So I'm thinking about signing up to Vinyl Me Please on a monthly subscription. I don't know, we'll see. But yeah, Walker Brothers Nite Flights, worth getting if you're a Scott Walker fan. Don't expect too much out of the other tracks on the album. They're okay. They're sort of typical late 70s disco pop type stuff. Nothing to really write home about, but the 4 Scott Walker tracks on this are excellent. Are they worth the entry fee for an OG pressing? No, I don't think so. But certainly worth the expense for £25 for a music on vinyl, just to whet your appetite for if you want a bit more Scott Walker. Anyway, we'll leave it at that, and I shall see you in the next one. Cheers, bye bye.